What if you could be missing out on making a ton of money in your business due to a commonly made mistake? And what if I told you that one small change can make massive improvements in your profit and your revenue? Some people think that asking for a premium price can kill the sale. But you need to make premium in the times that we're living in. If you undercharge, you may as well close up shop. Your labor is worth something. You cannot undersell. You have to price it right, or else you are going to go to the customer and you are going to be really annoyed when you have to do all these things for them and you're saying, what the heck? I am making less than minimum wage here. You cannot have fair to charge. You have to charge premium. Whatever I am doing, I've used premium for all my businesses. You have to have the ability to call your price, sit back, and wait. Sometimes they will take you on right there when you're with them on the Zoom call, or if you're making a phone call to them, or they'll call you. Just wait. Don't fill in the pause with a lot of talking and chatter. Just relax and know that you got this. You are worth what you are calling. If you make a mistake, you will end up giving them the job for free. So we'll talk more about that. The second point I want to make, and the English tongue, there is a quote that we use based on our experience, my husband and I. I want to give you this little story. We used to, when we came back from med school, my brother-in-law was doing something at the English tongue, and so we went out, to make money, because you come back in, you left for so many years, you don't have any income coming in. And so we joined them, and we noticed very quickly that there were some people there who would come to this English tongue flea market, but no matter how your product was good, they just always wanted it for $1. And so we have the English tongue concept, where if you don't press in to your premium price, you're going to get English tonguers. And the way that you are able to weed out English tonguers, listen, we did a logistics business. We're still on the end of it. We're kind of weaning it out. But we had a lot of experience where the English tonguers were there too. They're everywhere. Every business that you do, you will find them. And the only way you can get rid of them is to call premium. When you call premium, right away, you know who cannot handle you, who cannot make the price you're calling, they're going to leave. Because the English tonguers give you a lot of headache. They want refunds. They want to know why you did it like this. Oh, and I didn't get this today. Your guy didn't show up today. A ton of problems. Weed them out. Weed them out. Because if you don't, you're going to have problems again. All right? Okay. So I hope you need margins, and you need to have your spread so that you can survive, and you need to go after the sale with confidence that you got it. All right. So my name is Leah, and I just want to let you know that this is something that I'm going to be doing every day. I'm going to be coming on live every single day. And I think we established, let me say, 5 days a week, not every day. 5 days a week. I will take Saturday and Sunday off. And I want to tell you that during the time that I'm on, I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur now. I've been doing it for about 25 or 25 plus years. I'm not going to say exactly how much, but just know that I've been doing it a lot. And the two concepts that I shared with you just now, they are the backbone of what I do. I charge premium. I go after what I have to get because I know that I'm going to give you the best of me, and the best of me is not cheap. It's not cheap. If you want cheap, go down the corner at the cheap, whatever is down there, but that's not me. I go for premium. I've gone for premium my whole life. All right? Because I have to make sure that I'm not doing a business to show the world that I have a business, but I come home and I can't pay my bills. You have to be able to pay your bills. A lot of us take on these corporate jobs, right? We take on corporate, and they say, "Oh, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna make you manager, and you're gonna make $48,000 a year, and you're gonna do this, 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 this. You're gonna do 5 people's job for that $48,000, and you're so." What is the word? You're so timid. You don't want to walk out. You don't want to say no. So you take this stupid job, and then you find that before you cover in for driving to the job, paying for leasing a new car, buying suits and fancy shoes so that you can look immaculate, you're not making anything. Right? So those are some of the things that we want to avoid. We want to call premium, and we want to attract premium customers because they work with you and they don't bother you. They don't bother you. They're very grateful. They're thankful, right? They're not a bunch of complainers. All right. So the next thing I want to tell you about is that we have a webinar. We are working on doing a webinar, and we had projected out for the 29th. My husband's birthday is on the 29th of September, and he wanted to give it to me as a nice gift, However, we were not able to pull it off. We know for sure that we have a lot of the work done, but it's not going to be ready. All right. So what we decided today was that we're going to put it on a week from the 29th. All right. Now, this webinar is basically talking about the seller's mindset, the exceptional seller's mindset. I have this system that I've used over my years that is tested and proven, and it just makes me close. It makes me attract people to myself, and it does wonders. So what is this webinar about? It's a live webinar. It's free of charge, and it is called the Exceptional Seller's Mindset. I believe that it does not matter how your business is, what your business is, whether you're brick and mortar, whether you're on the internet, you need to be able to sell. You need to be able to sell. If you're big and you're out there and you have a team that's going out and selling and bringing in the revenue, but if you're starting and you're struggling and you just, you haven't scaled up yet, you need to be able to sell. Selling is the foundation of everything when it comes to being entrepreneurial and having a business. All right. So the last thing that I'm going to do is have you ask questions. We're going to go into a question and answer section. I may not have anyone in. Okay. My husband has given me a cue, and he said that I have not given you enough. I know that you guys are always on the run. The world is moving so fast, and everybody wants to go, go, go. All right. So I have something I can expound upon. Right. Let me give you a story. Remember how I said that some people think that asking a premium price can kill the sale, and that it's important that you keep that premium price, because if you don't, you could lose out. All right, let me tell you a story. When I started the company that I have now, I basically give it away when I was going to med school to a family member who stayed true and consistent with me. I give I give it over to my family member, and they're still running it, making six figures. I'm very proud of that person. Um, whatever systems I made has held, and the other businesses that I made held too. But for reasons that I will tell you later when you come into my world, sometimes you have to make decisions. I wanted to sell them, but I figured, I'll just close them out and keep all the titles and keep everything to myself, and then at any point I want to pick them back up, I can do so. And so that's what I did. The reason why you have to charge premium, my friends, is that you have to protect yourself, When you look in your hands, you realize that you have a skill. We have this skill, it's in us. It might have been a skill that was passed on from your mother, something you saw your mother did, something you saw your father did. I was listening to a YouTube video today, and this guy was saying that he watched his mother and his father doing this restaurant thing where they made food and they sold it, and that was his passion. He just wanted to do that, and he's been doing that. Now imagine the labor that your mother put into it. She may have gotten it from her grandmother. So do you see now how it has begun to get value? Now you come in and you have this skill in your hand and you want to do this, but then you show up and you open up your doors and people are saying, huh? How much you want for that sandwich? $7? Nah. The guy next door sells it for about $3 and something cents. Yeah, but you don't know what the guy next door does. I know his secret and I'm not going to tell you, but you're eating filth over there. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we go through. So what I want to tell you is that on my first experience, when I started off as an entrepreneur in this country, I put out some ads, in the local newspaper and everything. And I remember going into this house, we settled. I got 2 clients on my first hit. Very happy. Went out and I told them what my price was and everything. And, I went in and the person is sitting there at the table. Both of them did it. There were people who bought the New York Times and they had their coffee, and I'm busting my behind cleaning their house and everything. And woman crosses her legs and I'm finished, and I announce that I'm finished, and she just says, "Here." And she pushes me. At the time I charged her $60. And she pushes $20 and she gives that to me. So I looked at the $20 and I said, "That's not what I charged you. I charged you $60." Right? Because this was, like off the books and everything. So it's $60. If you want to charge and take taxes out, I'll have to charge you more and put the tax in and what's not. She says, "Well, that's all I have." Huh? Excuse me? Okay. I was very, very upset. I cannot tell you how much I needed that $60 at the time. She robbed me. I packed up my gear and I left out. I went outside and I said, "God, how could she do this to me? Why would she do this to me? She saw how hard I worked." I praised him. I packed my stuff in the car and she could not get me anymore. And so sometimes when things happen to you, you have to learn, and you got to learn fast. Okay? So what I decided, I got hit twice. A man did it to me too. He said that was all he had. Give me $20 too. I guess the wealthy sometimes can take advantage of you. You know, they know that they assume that maybe you're a migrant and you don't have papers, or they tell themselves that you're new coming in and you don't know the ropes. So I was taken advantage of. But I thank God that I have within me the entrepreneurial skill. Like I said, what is the skill in your hand? And I said, you know what? I sat down and I said, I have to devise a system that they cannot do this to me anymore. They can't do this to me. And so I came up with a system. You know, if I walk into your house, when I was doing my first run, the company ended up having 15 teams. So we ended up, when I scaled up to 30 people, 15 teams. And I stepped back and I started managing, and then I just pulled and I took about 3 other managers with me. So there were about 4 or 5 managers with me. But at the start of most things, you're doing it by yourself. And so I sat down and I said, you know what? I did not come to be robbed in this country. And so I started telling them in that introductory phone call where we accept each other. You tell me over the phone that you accept my price, doesn't mean that you did. So what did Leah do? Leah Vona would go in, and first thing I would do is look for my money. If the money was not on the table, I'm packing up and I'm leaving. If you cannot give me an explanation or go get my money right now and give it to me, we don't have a deal. And then I got stronger and bolder. And I started to tell them on the confirmation call, because if you're doing cleaning, this is brick and mortar I am talking about here. And this will come into the regular internet game too. With the internet game, you tell your prospective client, okay, you can send it to, what is it? Daddy, what is the name of the people we signed up for them to send the money to? The place that Elon Musk had first and he sold it? Yeah. So, you know, a lot of online transactions go through PayPal or whatever else they might have out there. You know, I'm learning the game now, guys. So coming from brick and mortar, just know that the concepts work everywhere. And as you guys know, Alex Hormozy, he was a brick and mortar guy and he's killing it out there. So it does work. So don't feel, oh, you know, she can't teach me nothing. She just did brick and mortar. Brick and mortar is where it's at. Without brick and mortar, they would not have the online thing. Some things grow from, you know. All right. So don't be a skeptic. Just come with an open heart and open mind. And so I started to get bolder, stronger, and I would tell them when I'm confirming the night before I come in, Mrs. T, I have a concept, and my system is, please leave your check out. If the check is not there, I will not work. And I want to tell you, most of their checks cleared, but sometimes you could have a person whose check doesn't clear. So all these things you have to learn. And like I said last night, you learn with iterations. Iterations. Somebody rob you today, you come up with a solution that stops them from doing that tomorrow. But you will always find that you have to keep ironing. You got to keep polishing your game. All right? So I hope that story helps you. There is always a story behind an implementation of a new concept. Something happens that makes you have to put a system in place. Okay, guys? So I'm going to close this out now, and I'm going to remind you again that the webinar is going to be canceled for the 29th. We're going to go a week from the 29th, and it's about the exceptional seller's mindset. And when you come there, I would want to know that you come prepared to be open minded, not to be a skeptic, not to give me a hard time, trusting God that you have the premium mindset and you're just there to learn, to find out what I have done in these 30 plus years that you can take and run with. Okay? All right. So if you have any questions, I'm going to stick around for about 10 minutes to see if anybody wishes to have questions. If you do not, if there's no one on, I prepared.
I gave you some.
I prepared. Okay, my husband prepared. What is this? One, two.
Give you some example question, like commonly asked question, just so like they could see what your style, what your style is, and
Yeah.
what they could benefit by coming on here. Yeah, somebody had popped in earlier and left, so it's just us right now. But for
Okay.
the benefit of somebody who comes later.
Yeah, I just want to say, for whether you, whoever came, I thank you for coming. And, I don't know how many of you will come into my world, but I trust God that you will come. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And I know you will come. I know you will come. And so I just thank you for when you may watch this video later. I will thank you in an advance for watching it. And leave me your comments and let me know if there's anything that I can speak about, anything you want that you have issues with, and I'll do my best for you. All right. So there are two questions that I'm gonna work on here tonight because my husband tells me that somebody came and left. And so let's see. What can I do if a customer says that my price is too expensive? What can I do if a customer says that my price is too expensive? A lot of times, if somebody tells you that your price is too expensive, they're kind of getting you on the defense or the offense. What is the difference? In other words, you're standing and they rocked you back. The price is too expensive. Okay, so you have not seen any of my work. Do you want me to prove to you? I can I can maybe give you a little sample of what I do. And this is why in the internet world, you have to have testimonials. People are saying that she's good. People are saying that he's good. You have a before and after product if needs be, depend on what you're doing. And you tell them, look, if you're in the brick and mortar back then when I started, we used to have some examples done where we might in the cleaning service we might do mostly in the cleaning service they had that. The people when I had my daycare and all of that, they came in whatever the price is, the mothers took it and trusted me and what's not. But in the cleaning, sometimes I would give them a little foreshadow. I might take on a small bathroom, those little half baths, and I would show them, well, this is the before and this is the product, right? Now you can call me later and let me know if you want me or if you want to go with the other person that you have. Another example that I'm going to use is where I went into a premium because now I'm moving away. I've invested in it and I'm legit and I have my LLC and I had to pay a ton of money for the LLC. So now I'm looking for my premium customers. And I got into a premium customer. She had this big mansion, and at the time, like I said, iterations, you make mistakes and you learn. I went in and I walked around her home. This thing was massive, right? And I knew that it would take me about 8 hours. So basically I would go in there that morning and not come out until 8, 9 o'clock, just working. And if you want to keep that job, you better finish before 9 o'clock, because by 9 o'clock they're looking to go to bed, have their dinner and go to bed. So I told her that I would charge her $35 for every hour that I was there. And if I chose to bring in another person, it would be $70 an hour. Now, who told me to tell that rich lady that I was worth $35 an hour or 70 if I brought two people? She looked at me and she laughed in my face.
That was like 30 years ago, right?
Yeah, that was about 30 years ago.
It
30,
was a lot more than it is now.
yeah, $35 an hour, ma'am. She says $35 an hour. Nobody's going to pay you $35 an hour to clean their house. You know when the sale is done. Because one thing that you're not going to do, you're not going to take anybody's abuse. We are entrepreneurs. We are proud. We have our pride. We know where we came from. We know what grandma did, what grandpa did, what, mommy did. It is all there in my bank. So you don't tell me what I'm worth. I'm telling you what I am worth. I don't need your money. You need me. So let's come to the table and make an arrangement. But a lot of times when they come on to you like that, you know it's over. So guess what I did with her? I said, okay, no problem. It's been a pleasure meeting you. Have a wonderful day. I will leave my information with you in the event that you want to reach out to me sometime in the future. I courtesied and I left. And she fished around and she was calling me in because she had a problem with her girl. She fished around and it took about 6 months and she completely forgot. She completely forgot me because I went in as not as strong as I am at this point. When I went in, I had just started and I didn't have that, you understand, that oomph. You have this thing on you. It's either you're confident and you're bursting at the seams, but you know that doesn't come right away. It comes with time. You got to get your feet wet, right? So she calls me back. At this point, we're running ads on the television. We have grown fast. So she doesn't remember me because I stood there as a little old girl standing there telling her $35 an hour. And I remember when she told me that no one would pay me $35 an hour. I left out of her house and I said, God, I know that I'm worth $35 an hour because I know what I do. I know that I work integrous. I take care of them. I don't cheat. No matter how I'm tired, I don't cut corners. I have my system and I rock my system, right? And I said to him, I know that I am gonna get $35 an hour. And I trusted him. Do you know that some of the houses that I went into at the end before I left for med school, I was popping sometimes $250 an hour. Because when I moved from regular to construction, new construction, and it's full of all the sawdust and all of that. But there is a trick here. What I had to do with these suckers, and sometimes you have to know what you have to do with them, because it's either you or them, and you're now working and coming away, and you're tired like a dog. Your husband has dinner for you when you get home, and you're sitting at the table, and before you know it, your face is in the food. No, we're not doing that. So I sat and I thought, I thought about it, and I prayed about it, and I said, Dad, I called my Father in heaven Dad sometimes, or Father, and I said, Father, I think the reaction was very animositous. It's like, how dare you? How dare you stand in front of me? Could it have been even racial? I don't know. But I said, they don't like to hear that hourly thing. So what I'm going to do, I know that the house is worth XYZ. So in the future, I ain't never mentioning by the hour. I'm just going to calculate my stuff out and I'm going to say, okay, this house is worth, I think I can do this one in an hour and a half, or the 35 plus whatever. Okay, let me double that. Because I ain't going in. You have to have a bottom line. The house is worth an hour and a half, and I'm doing it for $35 an hour, but I still have to bounce you up because there is, like we say, market value. So the market value has to be a certain way. So most of my houses, I started charging $175. So when good old girl called me back and she said I wasn't worth 35 an hour. Now I knew that her house was about 8 hours worth of work. Daddy, give me a number on 35 times 8, please. What is that? 250. 250. My dear friends, you know what I did with her? She could not remember me. So what I did was, hold on, let me 230. What is it? I'm calculating. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this concept into you. So I knew that I was worth 35 an hour, and that it would take me 8 hours to do her house. So what I did, oh my gosh, $280. Yeah. So what did I tell homegirl? She doesn't remember me at this point because, like I said, I grew, I got big. I'm on television, and my ads are going everywhere, and I'm popping up all over the island and giving the other, those other cheaters competing with them because my quality is high. And so, a lot of them are switching and coming on to me, coming over for firefighters and police and all this stuff. And so, I walked in with confidence that day and complete change. I mean, when I say I scale you, I scale you. I scale you flamboyantly. And so I walked in there and she doesn't remember me, right? The little timid girl that started is not sitting in front of her anymore. And I said, look, for the size of this house, it has so much square footage and what's not. It's going to run you about $300. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it by myself. I'm going to have to take care of one of my cleaners. So it's going to be two of us in here. $300 a week. Oh, okay. I'm going to talk to my husband and I'll get back to you. Yeah, you do that. That's what my mind is saying. Uh-huh. You told me I'm not going to get the 35. All right, let's see. And later on that night, she called me back. So sometimes we cannot tell them by the hour because they despise us. You just calculate a figure and you give it to them. All right, so that's one question. Let's see if I can get into this next one. Daddy, how much time do I have? I was a little long on that one, guys, but
Well, we're only 33 minutes
all right,
in.
okay.
You have breathing room.
All right, good. Thank you.
Because that's what I said in the beginning of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you went whoa, 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 and then it was like 8 minutes. Bouncing now.
That is so funny. I'm always looking to bounce. I'm bouncing, going everywhere. All right. So the second question that he gave me is, what if a customer asks me to let them in at a discount because they were recommended by a friend? Let them in at a discount. Huh. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about that. Could be a good thing and a bad thing. Bringing them in on a discount could end up burning you. So this is what I say. Follow your instinct. because that is another thing that they do. So I have you at $175 and you recommended your friend, and this is plus tips now. When we're doing brick and mortar, they have to give us tips. When you're doing these service businesses, you don't walk away. You introduce them, you coach your customers, you let them know I work, even though I call this price, I do ask you to give me a tip, right? Because the tip is what takes us over and helps us to, you know, make things happen. So a lot of customers do this, and so you have to watch. I'm not deep into the online game, but I think coming into the online game, I will not give a discount because you recommend somebody to me. Because the prices are already formatted with the online game. It's, for instance, let me say, in order for you to grow, you have to invest in coaches. And when you go to a coach, you have to value that they are coaching you and they are coaching you on their time. They are coaching you based on the experience that they have gleaned over years of studies. They read a lot of books. They're always investigating. Everything new comes out. They're there. They've been in the market working and getting things done. You understand? So you cannot disrespect your coach and say, I'm sending Brian to you, Brian, and then Brian goes to him and say, Brian says, oh, I dealt with XYZ, and he told me that he's worked with you for a while, and would you give me a discount? At that point, I would say, I'm going to leave this one up to you. But my advice is that on the online game, you cannot change your price. It is what it is. It is what it is, because there's a lot. You do not. Why do you think our webinar is not coming up on the 29th? There is so much to do. There is so much studying, so much reading. We spend thousands of dollars going to these coaching sessions with these guys. They're not cheap. Years ago, we used to buy courses for like $3,000. And now it's so expensive. Everything is premium, right? So I'm gonna leave you to decide if you want to do it. If you have a coach and you can make access to the coach, say, do you think I should give a discount? And then another thing is, we always have this sixth sense in us, right? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I'm wondering is like, would it be better to only if you offered a discount? Like you decide I'm gonna offer promotional, then I'll give discount.
Right.
Nobody ain't gonna come to me and tell me
That,
should give them
yeah,
discount.
Shirley came in and Shirley told me to come and ask you for a discount. So, yes.
And brick and mortar. What about brick and mortar?
Well, with brick and mortar,
Same scenario. But
it's
like,
the same
it's
scenario.
right? To me, like it's more important even, right?
Yeah, the margins are smaller. And what I did back in the day, and I think the person who is running the business now, they basically were trained by me to make their own decisions, because when you're doing brick and mortar, it's service. And you're out there and you're burning, whether you're doing lawn care or you have a mechanic shop or car wash or a cleaning service or whatever. It's more laborious, it's more on the body. It's with us, we are in this internet game and it's up here. It's all in the mind. So for me, what I trained when I coached this person that I turned the business over to, I told them that they have to make their discretion, right? I would give discount in the mortar business based on if I noticed that the family, that particular person, my OG, sent me 3 people. Now I have to decide. I can't discount all of them because they talk. Now that whole family coming in on referral is going to want me to give it to them instead of 175 that mommy is getting or $200. Now I have to give them all 150. You see my point? I don't know you yet. I could do you for 150. I done lost $25 off the top, and you're a stinker. You don't tip. So every time I go in, all I'm seeing is the flat $150. Listen, man, it's either you can afford me or you can't. If you can't afford me, move on by. I don't want no trouble. I just want to know that I clean my place, and when I'm ready, pay me my money. Just like how you have to, you wait for your paycheck on Fridays or biweekly, whatever, from the jobs that you're working with. You don't expect them to cut your check. You better give me my money or else I'm taking you to HR. I was here. I punched in. Go check your records again. You see my point? So brick and mortar, you gotta weigh the cost. If they send you a new construction and you know you're gonna make $2,500 on the deal, because they're sending you that, you give them something, you slice off a little something at the top because you would want them to come back with more of their houses. Or if needs be, give you all their houses. Because $2,500 is a nice slammer, but you have to remember, $2,500, you're going to need more people. It's not just going to be you and one person. There's dust everywhere. We cleaned the first round and then we got to go over and do a second pass. Come on now. So I'm going to say that you have to use your discretion, and let me just say from experience now, this is what I think you should do. Say, I normally give discounts, but I watch it on the 3rd visit, or maybe by the 6th visit, I'll give you the discount in there. And the reason why I do that is because some people in the past would come in and say that Marjorie sent me to you and told me to ask you if you can give me a discount because she's referring me. And you give them the discount and they said, oh, I'm going to take biweekly. I'm going to do the biweekly schedule. Right? And after that big cleanup, you never see them again. Every time you're calling to confirm, they're making excuses that this and that. So basically, you got taken. So to avoid being taken, you do 2 things. You feel your spirit. We have the tendency to feel a scam when it's happening. You could feel it, but sometimes we ignore the signals. If you don't feel to give that person a discount, like I told you, I wanted you to make your own decision. I'm going to say err on the side of caution and use these 2 parameters. Feel. Do I like this person? Does this person seem like a trustworthy person? Should I just stick to the second parameter that she has given me, where she says, give it to them. Let them run with you for about 6 months. If you don't want to wait for 6 months, maybe 3 months, right? And then this way you get to see what this person is like. What if you did?
Saying like a loyalty program.
Yeah, kind of loyalty
Like
program.
If they're loyal and they do so much.
Yeah, then you one day.
It unlocks a discount.
Yeah, it unlocks the discount because you don't want to give them the discount and they run. These are some of the things they do. They don't come back. Like, for instance, they might have a family function and they use you to come in and clean up their mess, because in the cleaning world, when we go in first, you have to break the house. So it's like you got running boards, you have doorknobs, everything is so dirty, the fans and everything. You break the house, and by now they've been going to their family member and they're seeing what you do. Oh, I would love to have some of that, but they're cunning. So they tell you, oh, you can put me on the biweekly schedule, but they just know that they want to clean up. But they know that if they tell you that it's a one-timer, the price is different. They know the ropes, so they come and they use you. Don't get used. All right? So tell them that you would give a discount, maybe after 3 months. And then the night that you're confirming, say, okay, you can cut the check for so and so because you have faithfully been with me for the 3 months. And I promised you a discount, and I'm going to give you $20 off or $25 off the price, whatever it is. Always make it small, please. All right. So I hope that answers that question. All right. Is that good, Danny? All right. All right, guys. Yeah. So my husband says, you only did 8 minutes. And now he says, all right, you're good. You can wrap it up. All right, guys. So I just want to thank you again. Yeah. My husband said to let you know that he's a producer. He does music productions and stuff. And he's producing my show for me. So he's the one telling me, you know, what my time is and what I need to do and when I need to stay longer with you guys. For me, I just want to get in and get out. Yeah, I'll get my groove. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for coming on. If you can, like, share, and subscribe to my program. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Saturday. No, so you don't see me tomorrow until Monday. Saturday, today's Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. Yep. So you're not going to see me again until Monday. All right. I'm going to try to take the 2 days off because there's another business that I am working on. All right. So have a wonderful evening. Don't forget, like I said, subscribe, like, share, and if you can, I will see you again on Monday. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.